And we're live once again, speaking to the human family. Where is the human family? Are you here tuning in? Well, that's good. We're continuing on with our Gnostic Investigation, part 3 of actually, dealing with the problem, giving the chop to international crime syndicates. International paedo-satanic criminal network. International paedo-satanic criminal network.
We will repeat until you get sick of it.
Exactly. That's it. Needs repeating because when you're right on the target, right over the target like an eagle, the distraction happens. And the force in the background is skilled in distraction, in deviation. That's why we're telestai, with an aim. When you have an aim and you do what is required of you to do to fulfill your intention and create that reality, that's when you're really making a difference. However, most people who do not become causes and stay in the effects, or in other words, they get swung by the pendulum of the environment, of society, of societal norms. Oh, you're crazy with your conspiracy theories and your ideologies, your hallucinations that there is a dark occult priestclass manipulating everyone. You get swung like a pendulum by the environment. And when you've had enough, and when you realize truth of how this universe, this creation works, which is strengthen your will, or as we like to say also, let the signal do the talking and act accordingly. And that strengthens the signal. So instead of becoming effects of causes set into by the dark occult priest class, you all have to wear muzzles and social distance and take the V and all that. You say, this is not my reality. You come out of victim mode, out of the symptom level, and you become a causer. You're not swung by the pendulum anymore of the environment. You become the pendulum. And you align your will with the one and only highest will of the one and only highest source. And then you change reality. And this is why we take the time again to speak to you guys, because this is what they don't want us to speak. The ancient timeless principles of the natural order. And what we want to talk about today is about self-empowerment and how they parasite of our energy, how they psychologically manipulate us, and how to get out of that manipulation, how to do shadow work, what we've gone through in our shadow work, because we are still going through it. Okay, we're not the masters who are telling you now to become enlightened like us, you need to listen to us. None of that bullshit. No, we are giving New Ageism the chop too. And I would like to give it over to you, Errol. I know we wanted to start by reflecting a little bit about yesterday's experience, because it was quite a profound experience. I didn't know what was going to come, and there's a lot to be said. Okay, there's a lot to reflect on, which I probably think we're going to do in a separate video. But just give it over to you. What would you like to start with? Do you want to reflect, or do you want to say something, or you've got nothing to say? Sorry, he's too stoned. I forgot you.
Why put it on me? I don't want to take responsibility for this shit.
Yeah, he's too stoned. No, when actually he is the rock. He's not even the stone, he's the rock.
Yeah, never mind the t-shirt. Beggars can't be choosers. I find what I wear these days. So yesterday we had a great interview with an amazing person, Blonde Spirit. And for whoever watched it, first of all, I want to thank her for speaking to us, because it was a massive step for her to make. And I really thank her, and I understand where she's coming from, because she was holding back a lot of information. And this is nothing against her. And it's only natural that she holds back, because, see, this is what we mean when we talk about altars. Not one altar is aware of the other. Okay? And when she's speaking to us as who she really is, a blonde spirit, she doesn't have any memory of a lot of the stuff that's happened. Okay? So the way the altars are programmed, okay, is for her to not reveal information by not even remembering what happened to her. If you understand what I mean. So basically, when she's questioned, an altar kicks in, which dismisses all the stuff, all the deep stuff that's happened to her. So she'll end up talking about the surface stuff on the surface level, and things that she can consciously remember, like when she went to the big mansion of Lenny Henry's with Lenny Henry's niece. Sorry, she'll remember all that, but she won't remember the detail of what happened. As she was telling us herself in a conversation yesterday, she doesn't remember what happened at that party. But I mean, I can tell you what happened at that party, because I know how they work. They gave her LSD. She remembers that. And that's when the programming started, through what took place at the party. And it was sexual abuse. Satanic ritual through sexual abuse. And they further programmed the altars. So yeah, and she was born into a satanic family who were preparing her for something, but unfortunate for them, they weren't successful enough, because I met her in 2013, and I started disrupting their program, their plan for her. And she's still not perfect today, obviously. The altars are still there. There's 13 altars. That's 13 altars. Sorry, that's 13 archons behind each altar operating through her. But she's come a long way. And she's come a long way through the medicine as well, the medicine work, doing ceremonies with her. But that's not the end of it. She's still got a lot of work to do. And that's how it goes. So I really would like to thank her, if she watches this, for yesterday. That's a big step. And she's given us a big platform now to further work with, basically. And I think a lot of good things, a lot of unravelings will come from this conversation that we had yesterday.
So that's what we like to use right now, that we have experiential evidence and personal experience. And what she shared with us, always keep in mind that the past that she had. So it's a big step for her to come forward, and we'll use that as a platform to integrate the knowledge that we have on the basics, the foundation of the psychological manipulation. Because the matrix is a psychological spiritual prison, which they cast a spell on our mind, and you unravel that through decoding the foundational knowledge of psychology. And it's very important to share that. And that's why today we want to talk about shadow work. And I'd like to get Liz here also, because I've been very impressed hearing Liz, how she got into her power. and how honestly she shares it. And it reminds me of myself, and also how Errol likes to share openly how to face the darkness inside of us, and how that is the true source of our empowerment, so we don't stay stuck in victimhood of these dark occultists. Because yes, our love, true love, works also through our hate. And that's why I like to emphasize that you do not, I propose to stop feeling guilty for hate and for anger, because it
Against
serves creation, doesn't it?
hate and anger against the enemies of life. Yeah,
Exactly. Which we call, or as I learned from Errol, is divine violence. It's a very appropriate term, because it should trigger people, because what they've done is what is essential to take down the enemies of life is what they inverted to make it look like, oh, these people are violent. When you need to integrate divine violence inside of you, and that's an act of love, true sacrifice of on the altar of truth, of false personality disorder, the ego program, the ego chatter, the idiot programs, and the new age distortion of spirituality, where everything is love and you have too much hate inside of you. But I thought it was all love. So how is it that I have the hate inside when everything is love? And this is why we need to get to the bottom of this new age hijack of spirituality, and talk about the real thing. So I'd like to get Liz on to speak about whatever you want to speak. How did you get to know about the importance of shadow work? And what is shadow work for you? Why is shadow work so important? Just pick it up wherever you want.
It was important for me just to empower myself. I recognize some situations. I have a young daughter, and some kind, I was so triggered in the situation that I was I was reacting with shut up and things stressful with her. And then I recognized that it doesn't has anything to do with her and the situation exactly. I just want to, at this time, I want to hold this anger, this pain, really down and don't go too deep. And then I realized that it doesn't work anymore. I don't have to say, hey, just do this. No, I have to look at myself, why I'm reacting in such situation as it is. And I recognize that I was abused in my childhood. I was abused as an adolescent of 14 years by my stepfather. And nobody wants that it comes out. And I didn't want to come it out because I felt ashamed. He really programs me to feel ashamed. And if I would open my mouth and take my mother, for example, about it, she would left me. And I decided for myself that it is not for me. I want to get my power back. I don't want to let the powers on anybody. I decide to take responsibility about my emotions, my life, and for my experience in the future. And it means that I have to recognize there's a lot of pain inside of me, a lot of anger inside of me. And why is this anger on? I started to go into nature and to shout loud in the nature. Take stones from other side and move it to the other side with big violence. Because I want to get these emotions, this pain out. I start to feel this and go to the pain.
And I want to pick it up here because I find it really interesting and important to explain why stones. What was your thinking behind that? Where did you get that from? Because it sounds like a simple exercise people can do to get rid of anger.
Because I was in the nature, and there was a field with a lot of stones there. And I was just looking at that, and just because it was on my way, I started to move with it on the other side. And then I get angry, and I let it out, and I find more stones, and I move it just. And I get so calm after that. I get in so many sense of mine. And another thing, I start to look at the mirror. Just look in the mirror to my eyes. And don't talk anything. Just look it for a few minutes and wait what's coming out of me. And I recognize it come a lot of a sense of me, what is really me. I stop to judging myself and feel always guilty for another. They did the things to me. Why I'm guilty? Why I'm shut my mouth? Why I don't get out with the information? And then, after a few times doing this, I recognize I get stronger, and I start to talk what's really going on my childhood, and talk to my mother. And she gave me the belief back in her. She said, hey, really, why did you talk? Why are you holding this 22 years back? I was always on your side. And I know I see this. We get divorced. I go and find another place. I left everything behind. You are my precious thing. And it's a big step for my mother. She was living in a house, having everything. But it was not precious enough for her. The precious was me. And I realized that I want to give these emotions not to my daughter. I want to get really a healthy, how can I say, a healthy between my daughter and me. I don't want to get in this functioning life. I want to be alive. And it precious. And then recognize how precious I am. And this is a big thing of getting empowerment and responsibility of your own life. We have so much trauma that's outside. The children, they were brought in the childhood, and they don't even know this. And at the moment, they react like robots outside. But it's important that they gain back in their own power. And it has to face this pain, this traumas, because it's a thing that we always meet in this society. Nobody wants to talk about it. And that's why we are here, because we want to help you to look what is really inside of you, what did happen. And don't that you talk on your victimhood. And that's why I have to do this and this. No. It's important what you really want to do in your life and what you want to put your focus on. Your life is really precious. And it's a thing that we have to release and reveal it. All this pain, all this sickness outside. Because then we can really get in a healthy new earth. This is just programming through traumas. And it doesn't matter where you look on, if you look deep enough, you will recognize that always there's a trauma in the childhood. And the people don't want to face it, don't want to reveal it, because nobody do this. But it's enough for us. It's important to get our power back, our life force, and express our life as we really are. And to recognize our incense, really sense of us inside, and act as we really want to do it, not because we get the order from outside or a confirmation from outside. No, just because you want to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Basically, what this is saying is we have to face ourselves. It's all about shadow work. Have to face it. It's time to face who we are and what we are, you know. And to be able to do this, you got to face every aspect of yourself and all your experiences, even the negative ones which you try to push away and try to forget. You got to face them. You got to face them. There's no running away. What you run away from catches up with you and consumes you.
Yeah.
All right.
And the thing is also, when you face it, you recognize that you are more than this pain and the trauma does. And you get really a sovereign being. It's about sovereignty outside in you. And do what you really gives you life force back and not the things you think you have to do in order to get a confirmation, a permission. No, it's really enough of this.
Yeah, and what I also wanted to share is what Liz also said is one of the prime problems we have in this world is that nobody wants to talk about it. It's the hiding away. That's why people fall into the trap of the new age. There's a reason for it.
Don't want to be negative.
Exactly.
Don't charge.
Yeah. Don't talk about negatives because you want to be in a love vibration. You have to, why don't you laugh? Why don't you dance with the others? You know, what's wrong with you? You're so negative. Why is that? Why does nobody want to talk about it? And the abuse, this is where we drive to the foundation of this manipulation of this archontic force, is because of generational abuse.
Yeah.
Child abuse, abuse in family. That's the problems we have in the world. That's where we can really make a difference in clearing those energetic pathways, because we're talking about the occult. It's the unseen world. And I got a vision a few months ago where I became aware that the energy with certain people that I knew from the past were off, and that it's like an energetic cord between me and that individual that you can imagine as like being in a red light, okay, off, imbalanced, and dominating your subconscious and therefore your behavior, because you've not cleared that energy. That could be an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, a friend, or whoever. And when you clear that energy, boom, you get the energy back. Now suddenly the color red has changed to green, and you can let those beings go and realize the learning purpose that relationship served. That's powerful. That's something that I would like to share. And if we were to do that, we'd learn a lot.
Uh-huh. Face yourself, no running. Plain and simple. And Anna here is saying old aspects and versions of yourself is not you anymore in the now. Well, it is. It's all of it is you in the now in a more powerful and integrated way. All your experiences, your past experiences is what makes you today in the now. You know?
And also coming back to what nobody wants, sorry for interrupting, but what nobody, you see, this is what people always told me when they asked me, well, how are you? And I said, I feel like shit. I don't know what to do. I don't really like my studies that I'm involved in. Everyone's mind controlled. Everyone's just going along, passing exams, not questioning anything. And then they call me the conspiracy theorist in the classroom because I question history, studying history. Oh, I thought history was about questioning. So you tell people at university and in the schools to question things, but according to what parameters? You see, I read an article yesterday here in the Austrian newspaper of a directly of a Satanist.
And we're going to rip her apart.
And we're going to rip her apart. We're going to make a video out of it because it was a classic. In an article, directly in the front cover of this newspaper, talking directly the mindset of Satanism. So it goes, for example, like this. There's this movement of conspiracy myth. Okay? People that believe in conspiracies. And in her mind, that is a lie because she tells you what the truth is. This psychiatrist. She can tell what the truth is because of what she says. The people that believe in conspiratorial myths, facts don't go through to them. The science, trust the science, scientific facts, it just wouldn't get through people, this psychiatrist said.
In other words, we can't control them, so we class them as idiots.
Exactly. She wrote a book about stupidity. And the definition that she used for stupidity is actually Gnosticism. Complete inversion. Because I'd have to look this up. We have to do a video on it because it's that big. It's that much of an exposure of the archontic mindset.
Because why Gnosticism? Because Gnosticism is what investigates, has the capacity of critical thinking, critical analysis, and looks into everything within detail, because it knows that the devil is in the details, as I always say. And this is what they're very afraid of. And now they're doing fake propaganda against this. And a year or two ago, there was another article in another magazine or paper from the Pope saying what? Saying the Pope was warning society about the dangers of Gnosticism. The reason why they demonize Gnosticism so much, guys, is because that's what brings them down. Yeah? Gnosticism is very dangerous, says the Pope. Yeah, to whom? To you, you sick bastard. And what you represent.
I'm just going to look this up because it was so profound that... Okay, I basically have to summarize it. So it was a complete inversion of... This is how the satanic mindset goes. So you're not allowed, because the name of the article was, you do not tolerate all opinions. There's no tolerance. There's not tolerance for all opinions. Meaning those who take down the satanic high priest and the whole hierarchy and the entire system that does not belong on this planet. The sickness, everyone who really goes for it and takes them down, those people are not, they're not tolerated. So we have to be removed from the discussion, as has happened with me. I was actually in the mainstream media before. I was once as an expert in a TV talk show, because I phoned up and I said, hey, I could come because I know about 5G. I sent them a presentation that I did. And in actual fact, they said, yeah, come along. So I talked for 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes when these jackasses have 24 hours a day, every single day, 365 days a year, babbling on that propaganda, that bullshit. I have 3 minutes of Gnosticism in action, and they have to remove that. They actually literally took everything that I said out of the talk show, not even, misquoting me or presenting me as what she described as stupidity. The definition that she gave of stupidity is actually Gnosticism, this psychiatrist. And they had to take it out completely because it would have taken down their entire agenda, because that was the main talk show here in Austria. the Barbara Kali show, with at least 200,000 people watching that. So if you only have 3 minutes, this is the power of the truth, okay? For anyone who doesn't think what we're doing has much of an effect or there's nothing you can do, 3 minutes, they can't even show you, because you would destroy their entire agenda.
Has such an effect that even Mark Passio doesn't want to get in touch with us. I wonder why. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Mark Passio has just come up in the comments.
Yeah.
To be honest with you guys, we don't even trust Mark Passio at the moment, because I'm trying to contact him for how many months? Nothing. Doesn't want to know. And another thing, you don't just get into a satanic order, okay, and just linger around in the lower echelons of it and then leave. What really went on?
It's a catastrophe.
You don't just go in and get out of such an order.
We're not able to share the story that we have to share with any of the alternative media. The only one who talked with us is Mark Devlin. So you get in touch with people like Mark Passio, Max Egan also. I told Max, we have a moral duty to share this with you. And yes, he's still looking for a place in Mexico, but don't tell me you've not got an hour a day to share this important information that we have, which we're actually doing.
Don't tell me you've not got an hour to set up your laptop, which is all you need, okay, to go online to do a video. You don't need professional equipment.
Everyone is blocking us in the alternative media. Everyone. The only one was Mark Devlin speaking to us. That's why we don't have any interviews on here. Okay, we talked with Josh Del Sol on the event, and that was a great thing. However, this needs to go out. You see, the more it's shared outward into the public, okay, the more powerful it gets, the more the 100th monkey syndrome is activated. And everyone's putting a cap on it. Mark Passio, Max Egan, Gareth Ike, I went on there once telling him that we're taking back the country, not come back ever since, not interested. Entertainment, because of entertainment, because we're more comfortable speaking about, let us hear about the PCR test again, about the vaccine. I've not heard it too often.
Because it feels great, doesn't it, guys?
It feels absolutely
to
great.
Run a studio operation, okay, on a website, on the internet, okay, where you can stream and you can charge people to become members to view your content so that you can spin the narrative. You can further spin the narrative of the mainstream media and fucking profit off it. We do our work for free. We go into the devil's house and slay him. And we give you the information and the intel of how we did it, all for free. Okay?
And that's where we also want to, because I've been forgetting this forever, finally, I don't forget to thank everyone in the community who have helped us with a kind donation.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible. And that absolutely, we were able to get Errol some new pair of shoes, because as you know, being really on the front line of this war on humanity, we're normal people. This, you see, I get a t-shirt like this once a year. I don't go shopping. But finally, we were able to buy some proper shoes for Errol.
Proper shoes, yeah. But we're grateful for that.
Yeah, and you can't imagine how happy I was to be able to spread that, you know, and to give, because we just do our job every single time. We don't even have a place to live. Okay, and yeah, I get a little bit emotional because, you see, everything's up against you when you do the kind of job that we're doing. Having to work through all the things, because the attacks on us, when you do the actions that we take, you go into the devil's den, you slay and get rid of the high priest of Satanism, which takes down the old signal of the matrix, makes a new signal, spread throughout the earth and the planet, and you continue your own shadow integration work. As always, you get all the attacks directed at you. That's why the attacks can't come too much onto the other human beings, because the attacks are directly filtering onto us, because they have to. It has to be this way because they have to up their game with the 5G network and all that, specifically onto the targets that are making making it possible to phase out of this control system.
But who are you, Steve, to claim that you are the one doing the work, so you're taking the hits? And it's not, the situation is not so severe out there in society because you're taking the hits. You must be suffering from some kind of a Messiah fucking complex.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I want to talk about, guys. The Messiah Savior complex is a psychological term, okay? Specifically put there by psychology, by the psychologists, to discredit anyone who stands in confidence and who stands in their power and knows what they're doing. That's all it is. If you know you're the one to do something, then nobody else from outside can tell you you are the one or you are not the one. You know. When you're in love, how do you know that you're in love? Nobody can tell you. You just know. It's simple. And they hate this confidence.
Yeah.
Because they fear it. Because it's this confidence, okay, which makes the intention so powerful that you can change an entire reality all by yourself. All it takes is one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, John Lamlash, fuck you. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Fake Gnostic.
Fake Gnostic, putting a cap on Gnosticism. If you got the balls, man, contact me. Let's have a little chat.
In actual fact, I'll be sending you an email, okay, to all the followers who also follow John Lash. Yeah, you can get good information from him. Not in His Image is one of my favorite books that really gave me a lot of good information along my path. So credit where credit is due. However, he's got the archontic mindset, big time. Arrogance, the arrogance of ignorance.
He's doing his interviews now, his recent interviews, with sunglasses on.
Yeah.
To hide his true form, perhaps, huh?
Yeah.
Beginning to fucking take
shapeshift. This is also part of the unraveling. That's why we talk about exposing the satanic network, because it's a satanic mindset. And the biggest nest that they have is in the alternative media. Because the reason probably why we're being blocked from spreading this knowledge is because of what someone in the alternative media called me and Errol as having a superiority complex. Yeah, superiority complex. When you're telling people that you got a mother and a child out of a satanic pedophile ring, you suddenly have a superiority complex because you said, well, you got hacked in the interview. Yeah, that's our language. But people can't take any criticism because It's all about me, what I do. And then suddenly the so-called truth and freedom movement has turned into a contest. What the fuck is wrong with any of these people?
They've got the archontic mindset. They've got the virus.
Yeah, and that's why we have to speak about it, because it's some sort of contest. Who's better? Well, in actual fact, you're fucking shit. The entire freedom movement is shit. Because no one wants to hear the truth, because in the words of Max Egan, and he's right, when you speak the truth, you piss everyone off, including you, Max.
Yeah.
That's why they won't have us on the channel. We can't spread the message of how you take back the planet. We're actually doing it here in Austria. What is wrong? They make a competition while a genocide is happening. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And then tell you when it's just a principle, you have a superiority complex. So suddenly a principle, okay, the Trinity principle of an upright pyramid. What's the solution to that? It's the downward pyramid, and it starts with one. That's the principle of the one. I just explained it to you in the most simple way I can, why it is only the one that makes the difference in a state of sovereignty and not having to wake more people up. And yeah, we're 100,000 people for the event, 100,000, and now we can make a difference. It's wrong thinking. It's totally wrong.
This is what we mean when we say there are multiple layers to the network. There's the not conscious layer, there's the more conscious, there's more, and there's just layers, okay? And this is how you get recruited into the network, because of your greed, your ego of who wants competition, okay? Look at me, it's my show, yeah? I've got guests on the show, but fuck them. I'll run my mouth with verbal diarrhea anyway, regardless of what they have to say.
And then we have a critique about that, and a lot of people who tuned in the comments said, let your guests speak, please. And we give a critique, and suddenly you have a superiority complex.
And then they want to charge, okay? And critical information like this, okay? Critical information which could change the entire whole thing, okay? Which could stop this thing, bring the whole satanic network down. You still want to charge for it, and you want to put a limit on, still want to make it a membership so that people pay to watch the interview. Can you not make an exception of one interview and just post it everywhere, for fuck's sake? Information like that should be everywhere. Yeah. We're giving it for free, mate. Yeah? We're giving it for free. We're putting our heads on the chopping board selflessly while you're in your fucking Sparko chair sitting there like this in your comfortable house in California, wherever the fuck it is. Okay? I'm not sorry, Josh. Enough, man. I'm not entertaining your bullshit.
And we don't make any compromises.
No compromise.
You see, this is the point where we're at. You see, I do my job only to lose my job. That's why I do it. It's called freedom. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a diplomat. These are states of being that I put myself in to solve the situation, but I want to get rid of all of that. I want to go to South America and speak with the Shipibo tribe about real shamanism. That's what I want to do. That's actually interesting. None of this liability bullshit. I'm tired of it. I do my job to lose my job. That's when you know you're in for it for real. A lot of the people that I encountered in the alternative media, they continue doing what they're doing in order to get their income. It's not about your freaking income, and it's not about who does the better job. It's about getting the job done. I saved everything from the event before they closed the 24-hour time frame. Interesting.
My friend, if you saved everything from the event, then it would be a good idea to post it around.
Well, to be totally honest, I don't want to make too much of an issue. I want to make a point, because it's when it's their material. Okay, they have a copyright, and this is how they think, and that's fine. That's what they do. Okay, we're just sharing that it's a problem to have. I mean, I'm having to beg basically for the material that, and it's like, yeah, we guys gave you a platform, and therefore we have to take what we have to then take all your opinion on how you want to have things without having a talk. Like, you see, it's about just making a point that it's about more. It's about freedom. It's for humanity. We need to share this freely. We just make a point, and I don't want to be creating any problems, to be totally honest. All the point that I wanted to make is we're talking about the unraveling of the network, and the network goes deeper than we think. So let's come back to the point, because to be totally honest, I don't want people having problems with copyright issues, because that's the path they go. They're still operating on the old signal, thinking they're on the new signal. They're not.
How can you copyright intel that I've given you? Your platform, my intel.
Yeah. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. And this is why we're just sharing this openly, because we're for real and we get frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's totally good to have that talk. And we share that openly. And we risk, you see, this is where this thing goes. Things are not talked out, because I told Josh Del Sol, please, let's talk about this. And suddenly he doesn't want to talk. Suddenly we don't want to talk. We don't want to clear the air. And then this happens, because the air is not cleared. We go live, and the frustration comes up, because guess what? We're human beings too. And we're for real. We are for fucking real.
Yeah, because
we're not hiding anything.
we've come to a point where we don't care anymore, guys. I mean, we're slaying these archons for good. We're slaying this evil for good, and whoever stands in our way will also get the chop as well.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. You either come clean or you get the. You do not stand in our way. You get the chop.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're my father, my mother. You get the chop.
And this is the intel and the instruction we're getting from planet Earth. This is from the Earth directly, because guess what? No one knows what real planetary intelligence is. They have no freaking idea, because then you're too aggressive. What is the instruction, Errol, from planet Earth? Slay all of them. Alternative media, all of them. Get the sword of truth out. Yes, divide. Because guess what? Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah.
Get the sword of truth out. She said, slay all of them, be real, share it for real, because that's your heart. I'm frustrated, Josh, because you don't get it. Max Egan doesn't get it. David Icke doesn't get it. Gareth Icke doesn't get it. And we feel fucking lonely sitting on the information with the 100th monkey effect could take the entire system down, and no one wants to even take an hour to do an interview with us. This is the ridiculousness of the situation we're fucking in. You write to these people, George Cavasilis, hiding, not contacting us anymore after we've been to St. Corona. Yeah, is that your boss, is it, George? You wrong. You're not getting in contact. All of you guys do not get it. Why are you on this planet here? Are you part of the network? I seriously have to ask this question. I'm not psychotic. I have to ask your moral code, because they've got a net on all levels. It's a multi-dimensional matrix control system that has a net on every level, just to not make you free and tell you that you have to make yourself free. I'm not going to give you a fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish, because that's how you get free from this prison.
This is why I emphasize so much on moral code, because the only way you can get jacked like this, okay, and become a jack ass like this, is if your moral codes are low. And I'm sorry, guys, your moral codes are low. Who are you to tell me that my moral codes are low? And who are you to claim that your moral codes are higher than mine? That's archontic dementia you have there.
So I would like to ask Liz, what does because we've just gone on a rant and it's good. I feel good after that.
It's medicine.
It's not my superiority complex, okay? Because it feels good speaking truth. And we're not moaning, we're calling out, because how ridiculous is it you can't even get an interview? What does the sacred feminine, what does the feminine think about this toxic masculinity, isn't it? What is it?
Toxic masculinity.
Are we wrong? Are we wrong? How do you see it? And don't agree with us, because we don't want anyone to fucking agree with us. All we want is the truth and nothing else.
Should we ask this? What is toxic masculinity?
Toxic. If it's not in balance. And imbalance is you can bring what you have, even not expecting that it comes, and you will see that it comes from the source. If you really know who you are, you know that you bring this what you have for use in all. And she is caring for you, you know? She will do everything for you. We were asking how patient should we stay, because we are looking for a home. Even 3 weeks, and friends know that we are looking for a home, and just still hold us with some kind of energy which hold us back so we don't get the right place. And I told you, be patient a little bit more. Why? I have been a patient too. I waited 1 year in the hell, even looking about me and my daughter, to get you there so we can get together and use this problem. And we really use it. That was we are homeless now. but I trust myself, and I trust where I'm coming from. I really feel it. And that's why I'm doing this, because I'm trusting in you too. And I know that we are really strong enough, and we will get it. And it's not seek to get out if something is uncomfortable, or it's not seek to speak out the truth as it is. There was a holding aspect not to do it, to think that it's immoral, but it's just another thing, the other direction. Speak out your truth. And it's ashamed that some people think we are in competition to another. No, we are not. And we are not here to get in competition with another. We are here to speak out the truth and how we feel, because we are real and we are not robots. It's good. You brings the energy to flows. And we need this.
And I don't want to pin it down also on the individuals, because someone just in the comments wrote that George apparently mentioned me, and that's good. And there could definitely be other reasons. You see, this is how it works, and this is true self-reflection, because I don't want to hate on any of these guys. Okay, all of these people have helped me along the way, and there's nothing but gratefulness, and that's why I keep mentioning their names also, so people know where I'm coming from. That's why I quote people with what I've learned from them, to give credit where credit is due. I have nothing but respect for these people, and I am grateful to have been part of the events with Josh Del Sorno, and I love Josh, in actual fact. It's just, you know, where the frustration stems, and this is where we head right back to the point of shadow work. Because throughout my entire life, I've always been misunderstood by my own family. Doing this job, what I'm doing right now, what I get is, from my own mother, I don't want to be part of your new life. And she loves me dearly, but she's got demons working through her, which she cannot face, doesn't want to face. I don't want anything to do with that. When she found out that I'm doing videos about Satanism, about pedophilia, so to just point this occultic mindset out that is also inside my family. That's why I'm not with my family, because I want to be with Errol and with Liz, because these are moral human beings. I don't make any compromises anymore. This is how it works. Yeah. So it's good when your family members, your children, are safe and they're good. Oh yeah, the family is, and how are your children doing? Yeah, they're doing fine. That's good. While other children are being raped and murdered. We don't want to hear about that, do we? We want to turn the other side. We want to turn away. That's what we're doing here. Because this is humanity. This is what it really means. This is what it really means to be a moral human being. This is the light. This is the one and only force that goes into the dungeons and frees human beings. And it's not going to be Q fucking and on. This mind parasite that was put in there in the alternative media for an absolute reason.
Why is it that looking up to some organization like QAnon to save the world is not related to Messiah Savior complex? But when one or two or three individuals come together and claim that they know how it works and they can give the information for the people so that they can apply it and we can do it, Savior Messiah complex. Why? You see, got to ask yourself.
And even coming back to the point, okay, and also my brother wrote to me and said, I can't be a part of this, what you're doing right now. And this, you see, it's demons telling you you're right over the target and we need to tell you to stop, but I will never stop. Yeah. My family can't stop me. I'll even go as far as that the job is so important for me because it's not about me, because it's an illusion that we think we're separate beings. We're part of the entire field. And when we see ourselves as the field working through us and serving the cause for freedom for all of humanity, then we're getting somewhere. Then the source can work through us. Get the job done. That's the intelligence that will get the job done, not you thinking about what you've studied and all the facts that you've gathered. That's going to get you nowhere. You need to let go, do the shadow work, and slay yourself in the ice-cold river, really connect with nature. And then the source works through you, and that's the intelligence that will make you take a whole country and take the whole planet back. It will be put to you.
You know, if we weren't slaying in the cold water every day, we'll be losing it right now, you know that?
Mm.
We'll be losing it right now. That's one thing, the ice cold water, which is helping us remain sane. You know?
This is a lonely job.
It's a lonely job.
And you get nothing but flack for it, except from the community, but from people that you're supposed to work.
What community?
The community here.
No, this is it.
Tuning in.
And yeah.
The people tuning in here. You're much more in resonance with us than people in the truth movement. You see? Much more in resonance. You get it. They don't. They're still up here.
Hang on. We are not losing it. I didn't say we're losing it. I said if it wasn't for our practices, we could be losing it. Okay? So before you call me weak, come and do what I'm doing. All right? And here's where we fall out, good friend.
Well, welcome to join. Yeah. So that's unraveling. That's speaking the truth and saying when we're pissed off, we're really pissed off. And that's fine, because what did I say in the beginning? Don't feel guilty for your divine anger.
We are not losing faith.
No.
We're here because we have faith. Yeah? We have faith. But how about I dunk you in the fire and I tell you not to scream? Could you remain silent? What fucking ignorance, man.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Triggered. Yeah.
You get triggered.
Yeah.
Part of our human
classic New Age
experience.
bullshit. Let's expose the New Age, shall we? Yeah.
Go on.
New Age. I want to speak to you guys about a retreat I went to in Norfolk, United Kingdom, 2019, with a very special friend, which I went to Peru with to remove 2 implants from me and 1 implant from my friend's, the girl's boyfriend, who I went there with. And what happened was we came back, and then she wanted to go to ayahuasca retreat in Norfolk. And I didn't want to go, but because she wanted to, I was like, okay, I'll come. So we went. And what happened was she was attacked in the ceremony by the archons, okay? So I tried to intervene to help. But in the beginning, obviously I didn't do anything because I wasn't the one. I was at somebody else's retreat, okay? So I wanted to let the so-called facilitators or shamans or space keepers, whatever you want to call them there, do their job and see if they can do it. But they had no idea what they were doing. So I went to intervene. And see, this is what I mean by fake shamanism and the network, okay? They didn't allow me to get close to her, okay? So in the end, they picked her up and carried her out the ceremony room, which is wrong, okay? And they took her in the back in the kitchen. And when I tried to go, they stopped me. They said, no, you have to go back and go back into your own process. We are dealing with the situation here. It's not your business, and you have to respect. This is our ceremony, and we are in charge here, and you have to go back. And I'm like, guys, I know what I'm doing. Okay, trust me. And no, you have to go back. So they didn't let me in. So I had to stay there and do what I had to do energetically from where I was, basically. But these guys had no idea what they were doing, and they were posing as shamans. And 4 hours she was going through it. She was kicking and screaming in the kitchen. Okay? And all these guys had to say was, when we explained our experiences to them, oh, there's no such thing as evil, guys. No such thing as evil. It's the mind is so powerful. Your minds make it up. And yeah, I mean, our perception on our experiences and others are only a reflection of ourselves and what's going on in our minds. And I just stood there and I thought to myself, I'm not even gonna bother arguing my case with these guys. So I said to my friend, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And this is what I mean when I talk about the network posing as false and fake medicine people and shamans running these retreats and places. They're all hijacked by archons, because this new age mindset, which is there is no evil, everything is just a reflection of yourself. Your mind is so powerful, your mind creates it. What you're seeing is not real. Okay, it's new age deception, which comes by, it's the direct mindset which has been installed into the collective psyche directly by the archons. It's an archontic religion, guys. Time to wake up from this spell.
Yeah.
And that's Satanism too, the New Age.
That's Satanism.
Yeah.
It's run by archons.
Those are the ones we want to directly expose with all of this, because it infiltrates into all sectors of society, especially the opposition to this agenda, especially. Because when you know you're going to have an opposition because the agenda is about genocide, you want to control that opposition. And how do you know you're right over the target making a difference when you can't even get an interview with people? That's when you know you're doing the right thing. When no one wants to do interviews with you because you have a superiority complex. Hang on, we're in a genocide here, and I'm trying to tell you that we're taking the country back instead of fleeing somewhere, because you can't flee from this. The only solution is to take it back. What belongs to you, your planet. They want to tell you on your planet to get vaccinated. They want to tell you on your planet to wear a muzzle, although the basis of health is oxygen. On your planet, and you take it back, you want to share that information, and you can't get an interview, you're right over the target. That's how you know you're doing the right thing. And every interview we do is a real challenge. It was a real challenge talking to Mark Devlin, because you have to be careful what you say, because you're obviously in a superiority complex.
I'm not
Because
careful.
the program kicks in because people haven't done their shadow work.
Yeah.
They think they've done it because they've done, I've done an ayahuasca ceremony once, or, I did some shadow work in 1997, not knowing it's a continuous process. So that's how the matrix hacks them. And that's how they look at you, like during the interview, they're thinking that, that's where we have a communication problem. That's why we only talk on our own platform. And the people here listening have a much better clue of what's going on than people who've been in the alternative media for 20 plus years. And that's why we're talking to you, that actually, when you tune in and you get the new signal, you have everything you need to just kickstart your own, make your own platform, because we're taking the whole show over. And then the David Icks will listen to you guys. The Max Egans will listen to you guys, will listen to us. Confidence. We need confident people. And we're the ones truly we've been waiting for. Don't look at anyone upside. Oh, look how great David has done. No, how great are you going to do?
Let me ask a question. Who does anybody know who has taken an oath of responsibility for themselves and the planet? Does anyone know anyone who's taken responsibility for the planet? Huh? Can anyone answer my question? Who has taken responsibility for this planet? Responsibility. Yeah? Which government? Which organization do you know is taking responsibility? QAnon? Which individual? Kennedy?
And that's the single least talked about subject.
That's
The
why
planet.
That's why we are in command. Okay? I don't care what anybody thinks. Okay? Don't give a shit. Do you?
Not at all. What do you want to say?
I do take responsibility over my life and Mother Earth. You know,
High commanders. I command, we command. As high commanders of this planet, we declare to be the protectors and preservers of this planet against scum. Fuck off.
Everyone who is not in moral code, we will tell you because we're speaking our truth. And when you're not in alignment, we tell you, and yes, we do judge. Because if you don't judge things for yourself, situation for yourself, so you judge other people's behavior, you get judged by guess who? The ones who are raping and murdering our children. That's why another new age bullshit is dealt with right here. So we judge. Yeah, we can judge for ourselves.
We're in command of this plane under the authority of the one and only high source, the highest of the truths, the one truth, nothing else. That's the love. It's the one and only truth, which is the love. And truth is what it is, whether you like it or not.
And we get what we deserve. Everyone's get what they deserve. And all your weapons turn against you. And you feel all the pain and suffering inside you.
So I will project my truth, which is the truth, the one and only truth of the high source. Yes, I'm projecting. I'm projecting the light that I am. I'm projecting the signal of the one and only source. She's exposing, man. So let them expose.
Let them expose.
Let them expose.
Beautiful. Love it.
Anything which isn't serving morality and truth has no place here anymore. I command so. I command.
We're getting the sword of truth out, guys. Okay, no matter who's interested in it, if we lose followers, oh, great thing. Great. Because this is the sword of truth. It's very clear what morality is, and everyone who doesn't align gets the chop. Gets the chop. That's how it goes.
Simple.
You either level up to the next step of evolution where you travel all across the planet without a bloody fucking passport.
Yeah.
Oh, you want vaccine passports? I just got the idea that we get rid of passports and we get rid of you.
We don't need permission for nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No license.
We do what we want and we do no harm.
Exactly.
For as long as we do no harm to life, we do what we want. Not do as we will. We do what we want, which is what we're supposed to do, for as long as we do no harm, except for the archons.
So it is, and so it is, and so it is, hermetically sealed and protected, you see. And this is the vision that we have for the world. We go and travel the entire world. Everyone gets a house, all right? We build our own houses. We don't ask for permission. No credits, nothing of the kind.
Mm-hmm.
We do what we want. We're inventing reality because it just so happens that we created this reality. They hijacked it So we reinstall it according to natural order. That's why we're here. And all evil must leave. But this is the vision we have. And this is when you align with moral code, do your shadow work, get rid of these addictions which tie you to the matrix. Addictions. Yeah, because they're psychologists. Okay? Oh, you've got mommy and daddy issues. Oh, you still need to smoke and think that's okay because you can get away with it. You're not getting away with it. You're not getting away with smoking. You're not getting away with smoking weed, because weed, the weed plant, okay, marijuana, is sick and tired of the reggae hack. The bullshitting. Smoking weed and think you're spiritual. No, you're full of fucking shit.
You do not smoke weed. You do not abuse such a sacred plant. Okay? Otherwise, you will suffer the consequences.
She's very angry at those fake people. Continue smoking weed when in actual fact you can do a ceremony with tea, and that's how you can really access the healing properties of this plant.
You know how you use cannabis, guys? Okay? You're sick physically. There's something wrong with you physically. Okay? You take the plant, okay, and you put it under your pillow overnight, sleep like that, with the intention of connecting with the spirit of that plant. Okay? And you do it for as many nights as you need to until the spirit of the plant contacts you. And then you seek permission. You say, I have this condition. Would you please cure it for me? If the answer is yes, okay, the plant will give you the instructions of how to prepare it and take it, and in what setting. Okay, this is real shamanism, and this is how you do with every single medicine. Like, this is how it works. And with the cannabis, you take it orally, usually in the form of a tea or oil extract, and you do it in a setting which is ceremonial. Okay, and you do it in the dark, and it will give you the capacity to access every single cell in your body and show you wherever there is an ailment in your body, and you can consciously repair that ailment yourself. That's how intelligent cannabis is. And that's how you use it. You don't fucking smoke it.
Believe it's a sacred plant. Yeah, you're
Rastafari.
abusing it. You're abusing it. No more abuse of this plant. And we're getting, you see, there's a lot of things we need to get rid of, because, always imagine an archon looking at you and like, oh, you got mommy and daddy issues. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Datura initiation written by Castaneda. Yeah, that's exactly what we did with the Datura guys. Me and the wizards spent, us basically, we spent more than a week with Datura seeds under our pillow, sleeping with it, connecting with the spirit, getting instructions before we even attempted. And then we finally added Datura to the ayahuasca, and we took it like that. And my God, did we nuke San Corona with it?
And it wouldn't have been possible.
And the effects are still trickling through.
Still, you know what Datura showed me? You know what she showed me and let me feel when I was looking at Errol, and I was like, this is, now I know why the Peruvian shamans say Datura. No. You know what she showed me? And the feeling, I even had the feeling in my body what she represents, Datura. Datura is a slaughterhouse for demons. And I was like, yeah. And now I know why shamans say, no, I don't work with Datura, because she's the equivalent of a nuclear weapon on them, directly on the head. That's how much it blasts them.
And anybody who takes Datura, okay, just to see what it is for recreational use, I'll try it, okay? She slays the shit out of them. And that's exactly what happened to Terence McKenna. If you listen to his on YouTube, he's got a video about his Datura experience, and it wasn't a pleasant one, I can tell you, because he had no business with that plant.
Sacred anger, Heiliger Zorn. Why is the sacred anger needed? What would you like? Or what would you like to share with the community, please?
You have aggression issues.
It's needed because has been taken from us. So you feel guilty. I heard a few days ago that I am so hateful because I'm speaking out the truth as it is and say it's enough for you, all fake shamans. I don't want to support and I won't shut up my mouth till everything is clean on the earth. And they told me, why are you so hateful? It's the best promote. And I told them that I don't need to promote myself. I don't need to get the business of it. I need enough to make with medicine a business of it. Souls are looking for healing, for a certain place to get this healing, to get their own process. And these fake shamans are misusing this, harvesting souls and making even money of it, a lot of money. And I don't want to support this anymore and say, no, I don't see it. I feel and see the truth and I speak it out. And I am not fear about it because it's really enough. No hiding anymore and pretends to help other people.
Spiritual masturbation.
Yeah. And they make me angry. And I don't feel guilty about speaking it out.
Anger is good. It's divine.
Yeah.
It's
It gives to the
inherent
energy
to our nature.
They really don't want
to
us to be
really
angry.
react
They,
and not tolerate it anymore because it was always this. It stopped with the cycle.
Liz will make her own community if she has male protection.
I do have it.
Exactly.
And it will come, but before we have to do this work.
Yeah.
First slay.
And then I'm sure I am trustful that everything will come.
A lot of people say we have anger issues. Yes, we have anger, but they're not issues. It's divine anger. And if you think we're angry, you don't want to know how angry Mother Earth is. You don't want to know how angry the dragon, the beast within the earth is. You don't want to know how angry the other dragons in other star systems watching over this one, they're angry. And when they come down,
this is where the truth really triggers exorcism on a grand scale. And that's what I want to do, is exorcism. That all evil leaves and it stops. Okay? How has their control system been functioning up to this point, this criminal control system? Original sin. Original sin. And what is original sin? It's bullshit. Nothing original about it. When in actual fact, it's guilt.
yeah,
You have to feel guilty for how you feel.
exactly. Talk about this.
Yeah.
That's the basics of their control system. They don't want you to know that, because what they really don't want is when you face them in anger and you tell them how it is. You tell them natural law. And this is the one thing they most fear.
You read them their rights based on natural order. You read them their rights. You look in their eyes and you read them their rights
You shout as loud as you want.
with confidence, fully grounded.
That's what gives you so much power. This is the empowerment that people ask for. This is why I like the example that Liz gives, that you just take stones and you just carry it. When you see, when the whole society thinks you're an idiot, you're doing the grandmaster chess game, because they can't even think that far. Oh, look, she's just carrying stones while she's doing deep shamanic work, transforming her anger. And when, exactly as someone said, when anger is directed, that's where it's best used. And that's why you see, I even felt guilty for, oh no, we don't want to go that far to talk about what happened with Josh Del Sol. Yeah, it's good. How about being real? Oh, that should be the public. Have you got something to hide? Because we don't.
I've never
It
felt
has to be shared and come to the surface to be healed, because we have to get rid of pretending. We have to get rid of these pretenders. And it has to be slayed, and can only be slayed by saying it as it is. And even
it's the sword of the truth.
and then when people come back and say, but we gave you guys a platform and now we don't want you anymore, then I don't want to be on your platform.
We don't need your damn platform.
We don't need your bloody damn platform. Don't need anyone's platform.
Do you understand? We don't need
If you
nothing
think
from
like that,
no
if
one.
you think that people who share information about how to take the planet back with actual experience plus information to back it up in the form of quantum physics, psychology, and the basics of mathematics and how the universe works, natural law principles, and you want to tell people, oh, then you don't go on my platform, well, I think the problem's on you. You see? And boy, oh boy, does the energy flow much better.
We don't
sharing all of this.
We don't need anything from anyone. Platform, money, shoes, whatever. We're just speaking it out how we feel, because how we feel is the ignorance of the people to what is really going on when we are putting it out there for them. Because everybody at the end of the day is complaining about the situation. Okay, right? Nobody is happy with the situation. Everybody wants it to end. So when you give them the solution, they ignore you. So the question is, do people want the truth or not? Do people want to come out of the situation or not? Because by the looks of it, they don't really want to. They enjoy their slavery. As far as I can observe, they're happier within the circus. They're happier within the dream than to wake up to the fact they have been dreaming.
That's why the truth pisses everyone off.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. Errol, write a book, she says.
You will.
I will, and I will name it The Art of Slaying.
And you see, that's why the truth pisses everyone off when you speak the truth, because it's your truth, how you see it. And you clear and you slay the emotions, the attached emotions, you slay it away, and then the energy can flow again. That's why they don't want us to talk about emotions. That's why they don't want us to judge situations or judge other people, because you're splitting the movement. No movement can lead anywhere without the truth. Does that make sense?
However, there's only one and only truth.
There's one and only truth, and
You're
we don't claim that we are always on the truth. We're just putting it forward the way we see it. All we can say is our intention is always to be in alignment with the truth. And that's a process. And that is for everyone to figure out themselves. How does it resonate? How does it resonate inside of you?
See, speaking of guilt, okay? No, yeah, speaking of guilt, judging, for example, okay, right? We're programmed not to judge. Oh, you don't judge. Don't judge, okay? Because if we judge, then it's not good, it's not right. That's installation of guilt so that we do not judge. Judging is crucial. Because if you don't judge a situation or a condition, how will you work around that situation to resolve it?
Exactly.
Everything is a judgment. You walk outside the door, on the doorstep, you've got to watch where you're going. You've got to judge where you're going to step. Mm-hmm. Everything is judging. Life is based on judgment. Okay? And this is how the Satanists, being the psychologists that they are, get away with them being able to judge everyone else the way they want to. But when it comes to us judging, we're not allowed. Exactly. This is how it works.
Classic. Mm-hmm. And then it's classic how they inverted that. Oh, don't judge. Don't judge.
Judge, okay? If you judge, then you will be judged by the archons.
Exactly. And with this, when you can integrate this insight, you checkmate the entire law system. Because who's sitting in front of you in a court of law? the judge. So when you judge for yourself and you write that notice to him, he can't judge you. As a divine sovereign being, he can't judge you because you've already notified him. And if he goes against what you're notifying him of what is the law, then he's liable. And that's how the entire court system runs, which is the way they've been getting away with their crimes.
And the crime and the primary aspect of the court system, the center of it is the judge, the one who judges. So they can judge whom or whatever they want, yeah, based on immorality, but you cannot have judgment.
But the thing, this is where you change everything, is when you write that notice to him in the private and tell him, I know what the law is, okay, and I'm setting the law here right now. If you do not uphold my rights, the law, if you do not uphold the law and judge me on statutes and legal codes, which I do not accept your legal title, okay, I am the sovereign. If you go against that, you're liable in excess of £50,000. Let's make that £500,000. And this is how then you start charging the system that has been charging you entire life as a battery, as a slave in the matrix control system. You start judging them, and that is what is meant with tables have turned. That's the court system, how it works, and they hate us for knowing that, sharing that, and not doing it for any money, because you have to also charge them, because then you are the charge and you don't get charged by them anymore.
So basically, they can set up a system and tell you that they are the law, so they can judge you because they are the law, okay, based on nothing, okay. They have no insurance or backup behind their laws or judgment, okay. They can tell you that. But when you come from natural order and tell them, no, you don't judge me, okay, you're not the law, I am the law, okay, and I judge you on the basis of the principles and the laws of natural order of creation, that's your insurance. The forces of the one and only high source. That's your fucking insurance. Where is their insurance? Backed. What are their laws backed by? Nothing. Nothing.
You checkmate the entire, because this is how they've got away. You know what they tell the politicians? Oh, you can do whatever you want. We've got it all sorted because we control the judiciary. That's why. Okay, they control the money supply and all that, and that ties in with the judiciary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the control of the law that they set up, their criminal law, where they tell politicians, don't worry, we've got it all in check, until you find out the process of how the court system works. You start judging them, they run. That's how they run. That's how with Cal Washington, for example, the judges started running out of the court because of that power. Because I am the law.
Because of the charge.
Are the law. Because of the charge.
We are charging you with crimes against humanity. By law, under the authority of divine natural order of the one and only high source. That's the high court.
And you can charge anything you want. 369 trillion euros, and you got the entire money supply back. Because you know the law. This is how powerful the truth is.
You don't learn natural law. You let the charge of it run through you like a flood. That's how you do it. And then you can analyze and learn it on an intellectual level if you want to.
So let's wrap this up. What do we want to wrap it up with? It's been another intense session. And I would like to say I'm happy to have spoken my divine anger
Yeah.
and my judgment of the situation with people in the truth community. And I feel no guilt whatsoever. And I'm happy and proud of myself.
One more thing I want to say. People wonder how we're going to from this mode to this mode to this mode. We're usually calm and all of a sudden we're angry today. Yeah. When you're committing such an act, when you're playing such a role, when you're carrying such a purpose, such a responsibility, the energy of the responsibility of all of that, of the entire creation, is on you. And it's an energy. It's very dense. You couldn't cut it. You couldn't cut it with a katana sword. That's how heavy this energy is. When all that energy is on you, being the master that you are, you somehow transform those energies. And one of the process and the stages of transforming these energies is this divine anger process. So I do not apologize to anyone, whether they understand or not. I can only carry out my responsibility and explain the process. Whether people understand this or not, it's up to them. It's their responsibility. Okay? And that's how this works. Thank you.
Thank you for hearing. And we invite you to empower yourself, to recognize how big you are, every one of you, and how important it is to get sovereign. Sovereignty is a process coming from inner side out. Express yourself, the love, the life is in you. And you don't need any permission from outside, you know? It's really important. And then, really then, our mother will drive to us. You are here for this big job. But please don't apologize yourself.
Never feel guilt.
No, it's enough, really. And I invite you, really, you are so really precious. So come in your power and empower yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for pointing this out, Errol, also because this has just given an answer to what has happened today. All of this and doing the work that we're doing comes with great responsibility, and it is really the responsibility for an entire creation. How much is that? And now I got an answer to why this divine anger comes forward. Because no more playing around, no more creating hierarchies where the truth community comes up and tells us, for example, that you have a superiority complex. Why do you create that hierarchy? Just because you've got an event which had more than 100,000 people, it suddenly makes you above me and tell me that I like. It's all about freedom, and I'm allowed, and I'm going to write to these individuals directly and tell them what my law is. I'm going to tell them they've got nothing on me, and if it is, then we go separate ways. That's how it goes. But I do not tolerate any immoral behavior anymore.
No way.
No putting me down anymore.
No.
No telling me I have a superiority complex because I'm in love with the vision of taking the planet.
And for
That's
anyone
all.
who does, I will tell you. Confront you.
And about the one, how do you know you are the one? It's like being in love. And
Exactly.
we are in love with the vision of taking the planet back. I love nothing more than taking the planet back because it means we can slay the shit out of evil.
Beautiful.
Oh,
And
how beautiful is
nothing
that?
else matters to me right now. Okay, not even my family. The only thing that matters to me right now is slaying these bastards, getting rid of them. And then, only then, life will be possible. Relationships, love, everything which is supportive of life will then work. Until then, they will not work. The infiltration right now is too high. Okay? First to slay. That's the crucial. Josh, remember when I did a high command on our first conversation and I casted an archon out of you and you started coughing? Don't forget that one, brother. All right? All the best.
All right, I think we're done, and we speak to you very soon again. As I said, we're just getting started here. This has all been a warm-up while they're coughing their bloody hearts out and all their organs. Yeah, it's just, that's the end. It's too much for you guys here on planet Earth. And now you leave and we take over. It's our planet. It's our dream.
It's our home.
Our reality. We're in charge of this reality. Till next time, take very good care. Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.